Howdy guys, Bookie Laura here. Now I have been avoiding buying books for quite some time. As I got a few for Christmas, I decided that I needed to sort of hold off. But one of my goals this year was to buy or to become more aware of new books as they were released. And that's a real problem. Being aware of new books that are being released does not go hand in hand with not buying new books. So slowly but surely this year, I mean, it's only been about 5 weeks and already the books have been creeping up. So I thought, I'm going to do a haul. Now, I didn't buy all these in one go. They've sort of filtered in slowly, and that's helped me to feel like I'm not buying a lot of books. So I'm going to try and roughly do them in the order that I acquired them. So the first one, and I bought this right at the start of the year with a voucher. I may have mentioned it previously, but that was Rebecca by Daphne DuMaurier. This is a book that I've heard talked about loads. I think when I've seen the cover, I've always been put off of it because it, to be honest, looks quite boring. It kind of looks quite old-fashioned and like chick lit, but actually when I heard the synopsis of it I realised that it's a lot creepier than it sounds and sounded really appealing. I know every man and his dog has read it, but you know, nearly I have as well now. I did at the same time as that buy Sky Chasers by Emma Carroll, which I have read and reviewed since then, but I have taken it into school so the children can read it, so I don't have a copy of it here to wave around, but I did get that one as well. What did I get after that? I think after that I was just chilling on eBay one day, which is where I buy a lot of my books, and I decided that I needed to try and finish some series, so I bought Winter by Marissa Meyer. I have read the rest of the series and I love them, so I know that I need to get round to this. What I didn't realise was the blooming size of it. It is massive, and I think I'm being a little bit intimidated by that at the moment. I mean, I have a lot of books I want to read, but I find it hard to convince myself to read a long book. I know I'm going to love it because I've loved the rest of the series, so I just need to get over the big book feel of it. But it is, I mean, it's over 800 pages, so it is a whopper. Then I got a book on my Kindle, which I have already briefly mentioned in my wrap-up because it was Call Me By Your Name by Andre somebody whose name I can't pronounce. As I said, I have already read this, but it's one that I'd seen mentioned on BookTube and Absolute Heap, and then it came to my attention that it was available on Kindle for £1, so I bought it. I think it was £1. It was really cheap anyway. So I bought that. I didn't enjoy it. I don't know. I'll talk about it more when I do my mini review of that book, but anyway, moving on. Then I was really fortunate to get an email from a really lovely guy he's an author and he wanted me to read his book, and actually I was really excited by that because it's middle grade literature, which is something that I'm trying to read more of, and actually it just seemed really cool. It's kind of like magical, which is something I'm trying to read more of. So it's called James Clyde and the Diamonds of Orchestra by Colm McElwain, something like that. As I say, I don't know a huge amount about it, but it is about a young boy who, it's kind of Harry Potter-esque, you know, a young boy who finds secrets about his past and goes on adventures. I think I'm going to really enjoy it. It's not a hugely long read, and I'm always really keen to read books by authors who perhaps aren't getting the recognition they deserve, so I'm excited about that. And then last but not least, I went to the library last weekend. I don't go to the library that often because I have so many books here that I need to read already. My library in my new town that I live in is much smaller than the old library, so the books that are already on my TBR, generally I can't pick up. I go in and I get books which just weren't on my radar. I just look at books and find something that's appealing, and that's really exciting because that's one of the things I set as a goal this year, was not just to read books that I've planned to read, but to be, you know, just go with my feel, go with the book that I want to read at that moment. So I picked up More Than This by Ness. I've started reading it, as you can see, and I'm enjoying it. I think the idea was really mysterious. I love a good mystery. So it said a boy drowns, desperate and alone in his final moments, he dies. Then he wakes, naked, bruised and thirsty, but alive. And it's, yeah, and basically it's that, him trying to find out where he is, why he's there. And I think I love a mystery. Plus, I don't know, have I ever read Ness before? I feel like if I haven't, that's been a mistake, and I probably should read more. And then last but not least, I picked up this book which is called The Humans by Haig. Again, it was one that I picked up from the library as a gut feel. I got the YA Ness and I thought, let's get an adult book too, and it was this one. After an incident one wet Friday night where he's found walking naked through the streets of Cambridge, Professor Andrew Martin is not feeling quite himself. And then it basically goes on that he he feels that everything about him has changed. It says that even his loving wife and teenage son are repulsive to him. He feels lost like an alien species. So I kind of really liked it. It had a kind of sci-fi element to it. I've heard of Matt Haig before, so I thought, give it a whirl. Now, whilst I'm aware that's not an absolute million trillion books, for me it's a lot. I don't buy a lot of new books, or I don't buy a lot of books, so the fact that I have any to report is quite phenomenal. The other thing that annoys me about me doing book hauls is I tend to buy books and read them. So book hauls and my wrap-ups following that can tend to be very similar because I don't buy books just to sit them on my shelf. So I'm hoping to get through these quite quickly. Certainly the library books I will read straight away because they're library books and I have to return them. If you've read any of these, then let me know. Let me know if you're aware of any new releases that you think I should check out, because I'm trying to keep more in touch with those at the moment, and I haven't seen quite as many for February as I did for January. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.